Hello and welcome to our Turf Footballs podcast. As you can see, it looks like it's Black Monday over here, flying solo right now. So just kind of waiting for the gang to kind of get all here. No, we did not fire anybody. So unlike the NFL, where we have I count them 7 teams looking for head coaches. And what is it, like 3 of them, Giants, Bears, Vikings, all looking for GMs and head coaches. So until everybody kind of gets here, we'll just kind of run down some of the lists that we're kind of looking at. I think the stunner of all, of course, was the Miami Dolphins parting way with Brian Flores. A lot of analysts didn't see that one coming. A lot of speculation coming out of Miami of some kind of discord between GM Chris Greer and Brian Flores in the locker room. So anybody's guess is kind of what happened. Hearing from several people, I did not see anybody or hear anything prior to, of course, Flores' firing of what happened. So a lot of speculation right now. You're going to hear a lot of names. Of course, the leading candidates, Brian Daboll, the Bills offensive coordinator, who, of course, has some ties to Tua Tagovailoa down there in Dolphin land. Stephen Ross, owner of the Miami Dolphins, came out in this presser and pretty much said that the new head coach will have some say in Tua's development or departure. So anybody's guess is what is any there, but we got a lot of rumors flying around about a lot of teams. Giants parted way with Joe Judd finally this afternoon after 24 hours of a lot of speculation going on there in Giant land. Vikings, of course, as expected, parted ways with Mike Zimmer. Not sure. John's kind of in the chat, so I'm going to ask John, did we kind of see that Rick Spielman would go as well? So they parted ways. Looks like got a whole new regime coming in Viking land, John. So good luck with that. Certainly a lot of people's speculation of let's get the GM first, then a coach. I kind of think that's the smart way to go. So John said, I'd love Daboll in Minnesota. Everybody, I think he's definitely one of the hotter names that we're going to kind of see. So I would kind of look for Daboll's name to be everywhere, John. Chicago, who was linked to Brian Flores as well today. So I think he's definitely going to be a hot name. I love the request, though. Do we hear back whether he's going to accept? Which one is he going to accept? I mean, the Bills are right in the midst of a playoff run. So you would have to definitely think that, he's going to have to kind of put some of these off to pay attention. As we were talking about today with some of the Buffalo Bills fans, and Jamie Talley, Daryl Talley's wife, who and I kind of are friends on Facebook and Twitter, and it's going to be 10 degrees in Buffalo for that game. 10 degrees. I couldn't even imagine sitting in 10 degrees, which brings me to 10 degrees. In 10 degrees, how would you love to have a hot cheesesteak in 10 degrees? Seriously? How about Donkey's cheesesteak? Huh? Medford, Camden, Mount Holly. It's 10 degrees in Bedford, New Jersey right now. Go get yourself a hot cheesecake. So we'll kind of see where we go with the cheesecake, because I could really use a hot cheesesteak right now here. And I'm in North Florida, so it's 52 degrees here, so certainly not 19 degrees, but a hot cheesesteak would be great right now. So anyway, let's go back to the coaching carousel. Another coach in Broncos, Vic Fangio. Is it kind of fair to say that Vic got a good shot in Denver? It's kind of hard because, with COVID, injury plagued, kind of went with Teddy Bridgewater, couldn't keep him healthy, couldn't stay on the field. So he'll definitely be one to kind of watch. I don't think that you'll see Fangio get another head coaching job. I kind of think he's going to be more of a defensive coordinator. I just don't see his name being a hot take right now. Jaguars are interesting because of Trevor Lawrence. You got a good thing going on down there with Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sure whether, that's the hot thing, but what is one of the hotter jobs? I mean, Giants, Bears, Vikings, got to get a GM first, right? Kind of got to see how that goes. Dolphins, Broncos, Jaguars, Raiders. Be very interesting. How do you remove that interim off the head coaching job right now for the Raiders? That's kind of hard. I don't know. So here's John. Okay, John. Gotta love John. This is play his. I have no idea. I have no idea about Vic. Would you take Vic in Minnesota land as your defensive coordinator? So who knows about that? But we definitely got, like I said, as far as the Bears could be interesting. Justin Fields, young quarterback. Not sure whether, we go with that kind of being a really good hire there in Chicago. So some of the names, Brian Flores supposedly going to go up there and interview with Chicago. That should be real interesting. Great defensive coordinator with Mack up there. So I'm not sure whether that'll be a kind of that would be a good fit. They said he was going to be a hot name coming off of his firing yesterday down here in Miami. So we're going to have to see what we can do with that. So the best jobs follow the best young quarterbacks. Definitely. You can definitely kind of see that. Definitely. So then you'd have to go with, if you believe in Tua as a hot young quarterback, do you believe in as far as your quarterback position, Justin Fields, Tua, Lawrence? So those have to be hot commodity jobs. And here's another great question. Do you bring in an offensive coordinator? So I don't know. I'm trying, guys. Like I said, it's Black Monday here. I feel like I fired everybody. Like nobody wants to come on tonight here. So, and we got a lot of stuff, and we're still trying to get Michelle to come in here. I'm not sure what Kate is, so I wasn't sure. So let me get the girls, and I'm trying. Yeah, John's kind of look. I see. Yes, definitely Fields. I would definitely see with Fields. So, all right. Let me see. I'm trying to get Michelle in here. Give me 1 second here. She just text me. All right. We're trying, Michelle. We're trying. So we're trying to kind of get Michelle Jinks in here, our Dallas Cowboy girl. She actually went to the Dolphin game yesterday. So I'm kind of curious to kind of get her in here and get her thoughts on the stadium. I could not go. As many of you know, I kind of had a COVID positive test about a week ago, so had to kind of quarantine myself. As you can see, even the girls were kind of scared of me. Everybody's kind of staying away from me here. So try to get everybody in here as soon as we can for you guys. And I'm trying, John. I'm trying to kind of keep. I don't want to kind of go into too much detail about all these coaching changes and stuff like that, because I'm trying to get these girls in here. So we'll see. So we'll just bounce off some things with John, because John's in the chat with us, and just always appreciate John talking to us. And John and I kind of goof around with Lamar Jackson, and he knows kind of how I feel about quarterback play and how I feel about him. So you can't get see, that's what I'm trying to tell them, John. They can't get COVID through a chat, and everybody's kind of left me hanging here. So kind of like, one of the things I'd kind of like to ask John is Kirk Cousins. Does this leave his status up in the air? Is, how many quarterbacks are we going to kind of see that are going to take to losing their offensive or defensive coaches? I mean, do you bring in offensive coaches like we just talked about with Justin Fields to take a look? That's a great question. I'd love to kind of get the girls. But we'll kind of see. Like I said, John, I'm trying to get everybody in here. So yeah, they're trying to get Michelle in here. So I have no idea. Yes, I'm trying. So let me see what else we got. Kate's saving me. Kate's saving me.
Don't cough on me. Don't cough on me, Rona girl. Don't cough on me.
I'm not coughing. Promise. I'm trying to kind of like stretch the head coaching talk, from like what's going to be.
Did any of them surprise you? Really, honestly. The Dolphins is the only one that surprised me. I had a list. I still have a couple guys on my list that still have jobs. It's early. It's only, Tuesday. The Dolphins one just threw me for a loop. Y'all finished what, 9-8?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was bad in your division, and you beat the Patriots to end the season, which has to be like, if anytime the Browns can beat Pittsburgh, we celebrate. Hey. But we celebrate that here, so that had to be, you beat Belichick, right? So I was
that our Super Bowl every
floored.
year, though? I mean, that's kind of where you go for right now. It's like, yeah, we beat the Patriots, but you know what? I'd give up those games to get into the playoffs.
There was a lot of. Can we just step back for a minute before we talk about more coaches and firing? Can we talk about that Raiders-Chargers game? Can we talk about the number of games that went to overtime that could have ended in ties? The Colts losing to the Jags, first of all, screwed up the entire playoff picture in the AFC. I had to go back and redo all the math. And then I hate Pittsburgh. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend I'm subjective. I hate them. And as the Chargers-Raiders game is going to overtime, I'm like, yes, they're going to end in a tie. They're going to send Steelers home. Raiders were saying in the presser that they actually considered not kicking that field goal at the end of the game and leaving it a tie, so they were both in. And then the Chargers called a timeout, which ticked them off, and they're like, fine, you want to take a timeout? We'll kick a field. Like, this close. I've never seen a season come down to that. It legit could have been a tie that messed up everything and shifted it all about again. Insane.
Well, it would have knocked Pittsburgh out. I mean, it's not the saying, but I mean, they did line up with the shotgun, and they only needed like 5 yards to try a long field goal, though.
I know, but they weren't even going to try it. They were just like, you know what, we're in. Why bother? We'll just go in. We'll bring the Chargers. At the same time, y'all, when you're in the same division, you don't want anyone else in your division getting in.
No, you don't, because you don't want to meet them later down the road and say that, we could have knocked them out.
I think he was talking a little bit of smack. I don't know that he would have seriously ever considered not attempting the field goal.
I think they would. I think they were lined up the shotgun to hand the ball off and try to get 5-6 yards and try a long field goal. That's kind of what I think they were going to do.
Yeah, I think so. And look at Michelle, her Cowboys looking good. Dakota getting you to the playoffs, girl. You're the only one of us here tonight in the playoffs.
Well. I mean, I'm glad they've gotten to the playoffs, but they've done that before. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do once they get there. They have a tough matchup against San Francisco, and so we'll see. But you got to get there, right? That's the first step. At least you got there. You have a chance. Lisa and I are it's a new
sitting
season.
out and watching.
Yeah, but I think you're ahead of it, Kate. At least you still got a quarterback and a coach. We're all up in flux down here.
I have a coach. Y'all want to stay away from Browns Twitter and Browns fans social media because the battle's going on between the media members and the fans and Baker Mayfield and everything right now is just typical Cleveland craziness. It's just insane and it's crazy. Jack is just a glorified Kirk Cousins so far. He needs to take it to the next step. Oh,
there you go, Michelle.
You got something to prove.
I mean, I'm not going to go as low as Kirk Cousins, but I will say that, Dak Dakota has to, and not just Dakota, but the Dallas Cowboys have to move past. And for me, they need to get to the conference championship. And if they can't do that, then I'm disappointed. And so they got to at least get that far. And I believe if they can get that far, which, I said against Green Bay, right, in the beginning of the season, if they can get that far, then, there's a chance for them to make it. But, they have to do that.
So let's talk playoffs.
What was 49ers a shocker to you guys? I was shocked. I was kind of surprised they got in.
Yeah. I was, but that's because the Rams lost. Is that what it is? And because Arizona was able to.
No, I think they just had to win and they were in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just had to win and they were in.
I mean, they were playing pretty good, and then Pretty Boy Floyd got hurt. Garoppolo got hurt, and then he came back, and their defense stepped up.
The Rams were playing for seed position. So they had their starters and they were playing. They were trying to get a better seed. And pretty much the formula was just the 49ers, if they win, they're in. That was it.
Well, it was a hell of a game.
Yeah, they got 10 wins. The next two teams, Philly at 9-8. Excuse me, and New Orleans at 9-8. Philly won the tiebreaker, so Philly's in on wild card.
And Philly
But
made
yeah,
a
San Francisco had to win it in. I think they lost. I think they would have lost the tiebreaker. I think if they'd have lost and been 9-8 as well, then I think the Saints would have gotten in instead of them.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, the Saints need. Yeah, that's correct, Kate. They needed for San Francisco to lose,
Yeah.
and it would have been amazing if the Saints had made the playoffs. I mean, you talking about a team
Would
that
it
lost?
now?
Yeah,
it would have been amazing. But what team would we have seen?
Right.
I mean, they lost.
Yeah.
Whew.
I mean, what quarterback? Who was playing? You know, it was like, wow. That's why I was just amazed that they even had a chance to make the playoffs. That was, you know, in itself a good story for Sean Payton. But I'm like, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm as surprised that Philly got in because I thought Philly would be better than 9-8. Obviously, what surprised me is that San Francisco's 10-7. Like, I feel like they're a very quiet 10-7. I don't have them in my head as one of the better teams in the NFC, and they somehow quietly got 10 wins this year.
But when you look at the expectations of San Francisco last year or maybe the previous year, you know, we expected them to be good. They just disappointed us. But, you know, maybe they got back together and Dick Garoppolo missed a year or whatever. So that this was a team that people had high hopes on. So maybe they finally got it together. We'll see. I hope they don't have it together for one more week at least.
Exactly.
Any surprises for you girls in the AFC as far as playoff teams?
No. The Raiders. I mean, I think the Raiders, to me, are a surprise. I mean, I know you picked them to win, but after everything that happened with John Gruden, and they could have just went to pieces from that. There was so much going on. So I think the Raiders was a surprise. And probably the biggest surprise is Tennessee not making the playoffs, but Tennessee being number one. I mean, I don't think nobody expected that. We probably expected them to make the playoffs, but once Derek Henry went down, you know, people were like, well, yeah, they might make it. But for them to have the number one seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, over Kansas City and Buffalo. Yep, absolutely. Definitely. And I'm still trying to figure out how Pittsburgh got in. I'm still...
You must have been please don't kick that field goal. Please miss that field goal.
But we
they tied the Lions.
You can never discount the hoodie.
Detroit Lions.
You can never Mike Tomlin. You can never count him out. You can never count him out. He's a good coach. I mean, I don't know how to, their offense looked suspect all season long. It was just awful. But they pulled it together near the end when they had to.
Yep. I want to answer Big Red's question real quick. Yes, I absolutely did watch the national championship, and yes, I want every single one of the Georgia linemen and defensive linemen down in Miami. So yes, I felt like I was shopping last night because I was like, I'm gonna take him. Oh, you made a good play. I'm taking you too.
Yeah.
6'4", 320. Come here, baby. Come
here,
on.
baby.
Come on, baby. That's all I need to know.
Was it 99? Jarrett Davis for the Georgia? Oh, that 99. Dude's a stud.
Yeah. Two SEC teams in the championship. That's always a load of NFL prospects there. So, we expect to see. But on that defensive side, what a heck of a game by Georgia's defense.
Absolutely.
Alabama to 4 field goals in the beginning and just one touchdown. That's unbelievable, especially the way they got beat in the SEC championship. So that was a great turnaround for them.
Yeah, that's coaching. A lot of that for me, from my perspective, it's coaching. I'm sure they watched a lot of film of that SEC championship game, and there was a whole lot of, is this how you want to go out? You get them again. You get another shot at them. Handle your business.
And Georgia was a good team this year. Georgia just has a problem with beating Alabama. So I think that haunted them in the first game, but they actually had the better team. They were the team.
Yes, they were.
And they
I'm going to say something, and I'm only going to say it one time, and I'm probably never going to say it again.
It'll be on demand anytime anyone wants to watch the podcast.
Dana's probably going to hit the record button. They're the epitome of defensives win championships on that Georgia.
Woohoo! Yes.
Because
We converted her, Michelle. We converted
No,
her.
no, you didn't.
Side, Dana. She's joined our side.
Because when you look, like Bennett, he did a hell of a job. But come on, let's face it, he's not a draftable quarterback in the NFL. He's not, but he's a great story. He did exactly what he had to do. But that Georgia defense is what won him that championship. Right. So I'm going to say it just that one time. It's not coming out again. But
Lisa, you can win with the terrible. You can win with an average quarterback if you got a great defense. You can do it, but you can't win with a great offense.
It ain't pretty and it's not easy, but you can. I'm willing to bet that in the first 2 rounds of this year's NFL draft, you see more linemen, offensive, defensive linemen, those kind of positions go than you see quarterback, wide receiver, running back. There's just not a lot of high-powered talent at those positions this year. This is going to be a draft where if you need a quarterback, sucks to be you. Sucks to be you. But if you're picking, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, and you need depth on either line, there are going to be some really great guys that we saw play last night that are going to be high caliber guys. Absolutely. Going to be a lot of those non-sexy picks, I call them. But
that's
those
how
are the guys you have to have.
I think that's how you build a team. You build them for me, I think you build
from the line of scrimmage out.
You go out. And so if you can't protect the quarterback, I don't care how good he is, he's not going to be as productive as he needs to be. And then if that defensive line can't put pressure on the opposing quarterback, then you're going to have some problems in the backfield. So I think that's how you do it.
Yeah. That had to be one of the best well played in the trenches game I have watched in a long time.
I wasn't watching it until someone told me the score was 9-6, and then I was like, "My type of game. Let me turn it on." Defense.
It was a battle. It wasn't a blowout. Like you. And then when they got to be so far ahead, I think Alabama is one of those teams, kind of like the Patriots, that either there's that small group of fans that love them and everyone else hates them. So everyone was tuning in to watch to see what happened. So it was a really good game. We gonna do any playoff predictions?
You have some issues, me and John here.
Don't bring up our issues, John, about the youth.
Don't bring up Vinny. Don't bring up Vinny.
Don't bring up
Let
Vinny.
it go.
Do not bring that up.
It's one of the only times that I will be all about the you. Don't disrespect Vinny. Vinny made a very good living until he was like 62 years old as a quarterback in the NFL. Maybe not that old. But
that was Jimmy Johnson's fault because we should have never been throwing the ball. Melvin Bratton and they had run the ball all the way up the field. Was no reason for us to even attempt to pass.
Nope.
Are you listening? You listening, John?
You listening, John?
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing, John. You're gonna come up here with the you talk and think these two aren't gonna put you in your place?
Listen, I have to ask you guys. Honestly, I got to ask this because this is flying everywhere over the place. Do you think Judge has a job today if he did not do that ridiculous quarterback sneak on 3rd and 9? I mean,
I still don't think he has a job. I think like they, were waiting, maybe a little hesitation, but I still don't think he would have had a job today. He had a whole lot of more. That's one of those things where if you're like wrestling with a decision and you're like, I'm going to fire him, but I kind of feel about it. And then he does that. You're like, yeah, no, gone.
I'm not sure what they were wrestling about, but maybe I have no idea because the Giants just look awful this season. I mean, they just look really bad.
They just never looked like they knew what they were doing at any point in time.
The last 2 seasons.
Even in the 4 games they won, they didn't look like they knew what they were doing. To lose 6 between them and the Panthers with losing the last 7 games of the season.
And both coaches wasn't fired on Monday. So everybody's like, what is going on? But
I know. Even the Ravens lost their last 6 games. Like, I know Lamar was out, but clearly I thought, little Tyler Huntley did a nice job filling in for him. Here, let's talk about playoffs. Should we do NFC
playoffs?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Green Bay got a bye, right?
Kate night. No, Saturday we've got the Raiders and the Bengals. So let's hit that wild card round. Raiders and the Bengals to be interesting. I got the Bengals. I just think Burrows and Chase is an unstoppable combination right now. Chase is on fire. So I think they'll beat the Bengals. But man, Carr's playing lights out though. Can't
I think if the game? If the Raiders can keep it close, they can pull it out. One thing about Carr is he's pretty good in the final minutes. Final minutes when he needs to score, he seems to get the job done. It's the first playoff game for Joe Burrow. I know he's had some success in college, but this is different. And so I'm going to go with the veteran QB, and I'm going to go with the Raiders.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals at home. They rested Burrow. He's going to be healthy.
That crowd's going to be just rabid.
All season, there's just been something about this team. I know we beat them. It's one of those rare things. I think they're the only team in the NFL where the Browns are renting space in their head. We've taken 7 of the last 8. But I think it's going to be close. It's going to be cold. It won't be snowy, so we shouldn't have wet weather or anything, but it will be cold. It will be cold. But I got to give the home edge. They don't have to travel. They're going to be practicing in this weather all week. And like I said, there's just something all season. There's been this spark with the Bengals that we haven't seen from them since the Icky Shuffle days. I think they get through the first round.
All right, so the late game Saturday, where it's going to bring the Patriots at the Bills. Temperature at kickoff is supposed to be 10 degrees with a real feel of -1.
You got to go Buffalo, right? They got to get that Patriots monkey off their back at some point.
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
The
weather doesn't.
I think
the weather is in favor either. Either can play in that weather. So, Boston.
Yeah. It's not snow. I heard. I was talking to actually Janie Talley. Like I was kind of when I was, trying to stay afloat solo. I was talking to her, and there's not supposed to be a wind factor or a snow factor. It's just supposed to be cold.
So Josh Allen versus Mac Jones.
Yep.
Is that what it's going to come down to? Quarterback to decide this one?
Josh Allen can run, and he can do a lot of different things. Boy, I just hate to go against the hoodie in the playoff game.
The hoodie in the playoff.
It's just
defense is better.
They both right. The both defenses are pretty good. I don't know. I'm going to go Buffalo only because I picked Buffalo to make it to the Super Bowl, so I'm going to go for Buffalo.
It's tough. I'm going with Buffalo, but like you said, Michelle, I'm not counting.
Right. Can't count.
I'm doing the same. I'm taking Buffalo, but I will throw this out there. The Patriots started the season rough and got better as it went on. Buffalo has had some highs and weird lows.
You never know.
Weird losses. Yeah. If they can fix their consistency issue and give us 60 minutes of good football, they should win this. But it won't surprise me I don't think it'll surprise any of us if the Patriots win.
All right. Sunday's early game. We have the Eagles at the Bucks.
Brady, Buccaneers.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a good game. That's all we can say. When I say that, who. Hopefully it's just a good game, right? That's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah. No, I just want the Bucks to blow them out. And that's only because they're in the East. So
that's such
just blow them out, Brady. Blow them out.
Because when you want the Eagles to upset
okay. That's 3 times. We can't. I don't want to have to. First we got to win our game, but I wouldn't want to have to beat them for a 3rd time. And it's a rival game, so I don't want to see them in it at all. Just beat them. Plus, we want to play the Bucks again if we can get there.
All right. So 49ers at the Cowboys Sunday afternoon game. 10-7 49ers against the 12-5 Cowboys.
Woohoo! How about Dakota? Let's do it, Dakota. How about them Cowboys? Let's go.
I'm going to take the Cowboys because I think this is Prescott's game to prove that he can win. So I'm going to go. Jimmy G's hard for me. I still can't wrap my head around Jimmy G. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Cowboys.
I'm going to take the Cowboys as well because they've managed to win this many games. Really, I say without Zeke Elliott. Zeke has not been Zeke. He has not been the stud running back, and they're still finding ways to win. And that defense, what Kellen Moore has done this year, I'm telling you now, my big, bold playoff prediction is if they can beat San Francisco by 10 points or more, I absolutely expect to see them in the Super Bowl. I think they can take Green Bay. They can take anybody. If they can get a 10-point spread off, when they beat the 49ers, then I think that will kind of prove that they've gotten their heads together. But I think they win.
Michelle, this is for you. He's being, how he's being.
Move along. Okay. Nothing to see here.
It's politics.
Okay. Steelers Chiefs. Easy for me.
Steelers Chiefs.
I think Big Ben's done. I love Tomlin, but I just think Kansas City is too much for him.
They should be. Kansas City should be, but I'm gonna tell you because I've had my fantasy teams. My guy he's destroyed me this year because he's been inconsistent, and I just don't know if that defense can get a little pressure on him because the Bucks gave them the blueprint last year, and if you pressure him, he's not the same quarterback. So. But I'm still going to go with Kansas City. I just don't think Pittsburgh has enough offensively, unless they can run the ball. But I don't think they have enough offensively to do it.
Yeah, Kansas City got off to a rough start and almost lost to Cleveland, and then they did lose to the Bengals. I don't know that they were really trying at that point. It's hard to say. So they are beatable. Yep. But the playoffs are a different beast, and I think their offensive line issues contributed to a lot of Mahomes' problems this year. But I think they're going to be ready to play, and I think they're going to take care of Pittsburgh very easily.
Okay. Now, the Monday Nighter, the Cardinals at the Rams.
I feel so bad for the Rams having to play the Cardinals. I mean, you like Kate said earlier, you don't want to play anybody that's in your division, that you've seen twice already this year. And so, but I think the Rams will have to win this game. Matt Stafford hit the last game awful. The last couple of games just awful. So if he wants to get that stigma off his back, he's gonna have to win this game. And the Cardinals just haven't looked good coming into the playoffs, even though they beat the stew out of the Cowboys. They haven't looked very good coming into the playoffs. And the Rams defense, I think they'll be ready this game because that's who they're gonna need to win.
All right, I flipped a quarter. Heads for the Cardinals, tails for the Rams. Tails. I guess I'm picking the Rams.
And they're getting the running back.
I blame that stupid whatever that is on Matt Stafford's lip. I don't know if that's a porn stash or what that is. Dude, if you can't grow a mustache, what is this? No. Calvin Johnson ain't catching balls from you. Be careful what you're doing. Handle your business and you'll be fine. So my quarter says Rams. I'm going Rams. Like the Cardinals were on fire, and even when Kyler Murray got hurt and they had backups come in, they still were winning games because they have a good overall team, but they have been trending down the last 3-4 weeks, and the Rams are moving up. So the quarter says Rams. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I think it's the Rams game to lose, and I think if they lose, it will be because of Matthew Stafford, and that's what I'm going to go on a limb with, because I think when you brought a Von Miller in and an Aaron Donald, that is a stout defense there for the Rams. So I think it's Matt Stafford's game to lose, but I don't think you ever count Kyle Murray out. I mean, if him and Hopkins get on the same page, it might be dangerous. So it's going to be a great game. I'm kind of looking forward to that game because, like I said, early on, this division looked like it was going to be good to the end, and I think it has been. So anyway, so I started, Kate, so you can end us. You can end us with what you want to end the game. What you let me see. We talked about the coaches. Oh, okay, let's have fun. Let's have fun. Which team's going to hire the first coach? Well, let's keep the Giants, Bears, and Vikings out because I think they're going to do a GM first, right? I mean, that kind of makes sense. So let's go Dolphins, Broncos, Jags, Raiders.
Technically, the Raiders need a head coach. Are they interviewing? Can they hire someone while they're still involved in the playoffs? Do you think they're looking at making their dude the interim head coach the Head coach, does the playoffs
To me, how
they
can you
do
not
depend?
consider him? How can
He
you not
deserves
consider
a
him?
chance.
Right? Right? So
I
Dolphins,
think it's
Broncos,
going to be.
Jags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins go first.
Oh,
And I
nice.
don't think it's Harbaugh. I know that's the hot rumor right now. I don't think it's Harbaugh. I think I would like to think, as much as I hate Michigan, I do admire and respect Jim Harbaugh as a coach. And I would like to think that he's spent enough time watching people like Nick Saban and Urban Meyer head to the NFL and they're out after a year. He's been in the NFL, and I think he really likes the college game. So I don't think he's going to Miami, but I think Miami will be the first ones to hire a new head coach.
And
that's a great point. Yeah, go ahead.
Harbaugh's linked to both the Raiders and the Dolphins. So everybody wants him, but I think it may be Denver. Denver, is that the place where we said Aaron Rodgers, that would be the best place for Aaron Rodgers to go? And then they're interviewing they asked to interview 2 coaches from the Packers staff. So perhaps it's going to be the Denver Broncos. They already know that they're going to get their quarterback next year, and then they're going to get somebody who he likes to come over and be the head coach.
That's the tricky part, right? Is finding somebody he likes, because apparently he don't like many of the people on the coaches.
It's his offensive coordinator and his quarterback coach, and he likes them too. So
is John Elway going to let Aaron Rodgers be a Bronco?
Well, now wait a minute. Now I heard today that the Broncos are going to be sold, and that Peyton Manning is part of a group. And I guess Elway's part of a group. I don't think they're the same group, because they got that whole legal mess cleared up, and it's got that cleared up that they are going to be sold. So if Peyton Manning buys the Broncos or is involved with that is going to be really interesting. Because like I said, my theory on Jim Harbaugh is I think Jim Harbaugh's in the driver's seat. If he wants to come to the NFL, he's going to have a job. He's also got a great gig right now in Michigan to bank some money, because they want to keep
Absolutely, he does. He beat Ohio State this year.
Finally.
As painful as it is to me. Lost in the playoffs, but you could argue that wasn't anything he did wrong. That was just he went up against better competition. So, he went up against, they lost to Georgia, right? Who ended up winning it all. So, but did he lose to Bama? Got my husband screaming in the background. I thought Cincinnati had to play Bama. I can't keep track of what happened a week ago.
Yeah, he lost to Alabama.
See, every time I say my husband doesn't listen to me when I talk, then he yells from the other room, because apparently he listens to me when I talk. I don't think losing in the college football playoffs is as big a deal as losing to Ohio State. So the fact that he beat Ohio State this year has scored him all kinds of points and all kinds of bank with Michigan. I just don't know that he'd want to leave. I
think they're going to, I think they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And honestly, and I hate to say this, and it's kind of weird, because I think Ross is going to head some of that to keep him in Michigan, which sounds bizarre, because wouldn't you want the best coach to? It is so bizarre. How I don't know
what Ross wants.
I don't know if Ross knows what Ross wants, right?
You need what the Dolphins need to do is get a coach the quarterback whisperer that can work with Tua, and you need to do what Jacksonville did and what Cincinnati did. You need to get a receiver for Tua that he's familiar with.
Tua's
someone that he knows.
He's got Waddle.
He needs a whoopee.
He's not going to be there.
You don't think so, Michelle? You think, it's kind of.
I don't think Tua's going to. I don't think, I tried. I'm not even a Dolphin fan, but I was there for him. He don't have it. I just don't see it. And I don't know if it's the coaches or the system or whatever it is, but it's not working for him there. Maybe he needs a new scene.
You got the same problem I do here. People are saying the same thing about Baker. And I think they're both, I hate to do the Alex Smith thing. They're both Alex Smith type quarterbacks. They can manage a game. They can play a little smarter. What's your plan B without Tua? If Deshaun Watson would get through with his legal troubles so we could start arguing about who's going to bail on their quarterback for Deshaun, then that's an interesting conversation, because it isn't the draft this year.
Tua might have thrown the Tennessee game.
Well, that's a bold prediction, Cotton.
That is bold. And I think that's the game everybody's pointing to, because that's the game where the rumors are flying that the turmoil started. There's apparently some reports out there that him and Flores had some issues in the locker room. And this is what kills me. It's like the F-bomb was thrown, like Tua as a toddler. Like, I guess he's not allowed to say the F-bomb. And it's like, my problem is I'm tired of coddling Tua. He's a professional quarterback. I mean, you got to understand, I'm an 80s girl. I'm used to Marino. I'm used to the F-bombs flying every other sentence coming out of that man's mouth when he was on the sidelines. But now I've got to coddle a little Alabama quarterback that's like, oh, I might have said the F word. It's weird. It's just bizarre. So
toughen up, Buttercup.
No kidding.
I was done with Tua when he was the backup quarterback one game, and I couldn't understand it. I'm like, I thought he was hurt. He is in full uniform. Why is he backing up? Why is he the backup? Why is he coming off the bench?
And apparently he was playing golf the day before. So obviously his finger wasn't
I don't even
hurt,
understand that.
Yeah, it is bizarre. But I mean, I'm going to be interested with the Browns with Baker because, I mean, when you start turning on local media, things aren't good there. Something's going on.
No, but in Baker's defense, if you are in the media and you write a story saying that he's not happy in Cleveland and he wants out, he's allowed to come on and say, that's not true. I never said it. I'm very happy here. Quit lying about me to get clicks on your website.
And he pretty much flat out said that.
He took it a little far.
Flat out said that.
But we can never believe them because we don't know when they're telling us the truth. That's when they played the clip of Saban saying he was absolutely not going to Alabama. So you never know when they're telling the truth.
You never know. So I mean, I got where he was at. There's friction here anyway. I think back to our question, I think it might be the Miami job, but if they are going to try to court Harbaugh or push on that, then it could end up being the Giants. Because as much as I think Denver is going to be in a hurry, they're going to have
all in a hurry, Kate.
They got front office things that they're going to have to work through first. The Giants need to figure out what they're doing soon.
And that's another thing. This year, I have never seen so many teams fire their coaches so fast and jump on. I mean, they're reporting guys left and right.
This is one of those rules that I really wish the NFL would change. So you can't talk to coaches until they're done playing for the season. And to me, the best coaches available are in the playoffs. You can't talk to any of them until their team loses and they're out. So why would I be in a hurry to get a coach from a team that didn't make the playoffs if I can wait a couple weeks and grab one of these guys? But then they're so afraid of not getting anybody. It's like musical chairs. I gotta sit as soon as I can sit, or I'm not going to get anybody. They should make the rule that nobody can interview anyone until the Monday after the Super Bowl. Period. Then there's not this frenzy right now to be in a hurry and get somebody. When there are very good candidates, there are offensive and defensive coordinators that are going to be busy until February because of the Super Bowl, and they're going to miss out on an opportunity for jobs because these other teams are in a hurry.
When you fire your coach, you should have an idea of who you want.
I agree.
When you fire your coach, you should have an idea of who you want. So you should already have a list of candidates.
Right.
But some of these people just do things. I'm not calling.
Yeah, but Michelle, also you have to understand. It's like I think they do, but the problem is you have. I think the Rooney rule now is you have to have 2 black candidates. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what they're saying. You have to have 2 of them now. So
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was reading that today because they were kind of talking about that a little bit and saying, okay, well, pretty sure like because everybody just jumped on the Harbaugh wagon when Ross fired Flo. It's like, well, obviously Harbaugh's coming. And then somebody said, I believe it was one of the NFL experts says, no, he can't come because you have the minority rule, the Rooney rule, where you can't just hire somebody right away. You have to satisfy the rules.
And if that's true, if they want Harbaugh and you're a person of color and you get a call to interview for that job, do you even want to waste your time interviewing?
Vance Joseph. Here's your coach right there. Vance Joseph is another one's going to get these calls just because of that.
Yeah, man. There are some good candidates out there. They just have to look. That's why the rule is in place, is because so that they can give those. You
can get interviews, right? And there's always for
Pep
any
Hamilton,
job.
Like the Panthers they're saying that they're looking for Pep Hamilton, not for the head coach, but be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I mean, for any job, as long as you can get an interview and a foot in the door, you have the ability to maybe impress the people that you're talking to and have them take you seriously. But that's kind of my problem with the Rooney Rule is I don't want to be that guy that everybody wants to interview just to check a box that they interviewed a minority candidate. I want to be taken seriously. And I worry how many teams do that, if they're taking all these interviews seriously or if they're just going through the motions to satisfy the rule.
Yeah, most of them are just going through the motions to satisfy the rule.
But because the whole thing makes my head spin. At the same time, every year when they do this, I learn about Robert Saleh. I learn about a lot of these guys that I didn't really know that were position coaches or coordinators. And then I start hearing about them being involved in the interview processes. Even if they don't get a job, it makes me go look up their bio and pay attention to what they've done. So it does get their name out there. So I guess there is a good side to it. But it's
right.
Just the silliness that's going to go on the next couple of weeks, the rumors that are going to fly this week especially, I'm not going to believe anything until the press conference where they announce who
that's kind of what I said too.
I just sit back and watch.
Yeah, you're good. You just sit back and get ready for your playoff game. While Kate and I have to sit there and go, okay, well, who's going to hire? What's Baker doing today?
I saw a headline on SportsCenter that said the Cowboys out of the first round. I'm like, dog, they already put us out. We haven't even played. So.
Thanks, SportsCenter. Right. I think we managed to do a really good show today, even though we got off to a rocky start, ladies.
Sorry, guys. I don't do well solo.
Well, the next time you don't want to go solo, email Michelle and I a link to the show, and we'll be happy to jump in.
I did. I had Michelle. I had Michelle. Yeah, it's weird. Because that's what I did. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start it. I'll probably be in, a couple minutes. I can start it. And then John's like, Lisa, talk about something. I'm
trying. Wait till you see our text chat. I'm texting. I don't have a link. Dana sent me a link. She said Wicked. I'm like, you're in a movie or a theater watching a Broadway show. We managed to get it done. All right. Well, Lisa, thank you for getting us started off. Shout out to Donkeys, the best cheesesteaks to eat when it's 10 degrees.
10 degrees or -9 now, whatever it is now.
I wish I had a shirt that said Donkeys on it.
It's coming. Michelle, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you
Michelle.
Sunday.
Good luck this weekend. We'll be rooting for you, girl.
Yes, we will.
Thank you. I'm hoping we'll get past this first round and I can do a sigh of relief and then let's see who we have next. So.
Yep. 1 week at a time, girl.
1 week at a time. 1 week at a time.
Thank you, guys. And thank you guys for joining us and dealing with.
Thank you, John, and everybody in the chat.
Bye, John, and everybody.
All right, guys. Thank you. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.